So can I go ahead and preach this thing so we can get out of here? So I came to tell somebody today that there has been a supernatural debt cancellation on your spiritual credit report. Because I began to look at some of our spiritual credit reports, and some of them was in the 100s. Some of them was in the 200s. Some of them was in the 300s. And the last time I checked, if you got a 1, 2, or 300, they consider you to have poor credit. Nobody will give you a credit card, but if they do, you've got to understand that you're going to have high interest rates, or they'll make you pay a very high deposit, which is outrageous. Can I get a witness in the house? So I began to look at some of our spiritual credit reports, and God began to show me that our credit reports were very low. And God said here in Isaiah 53, he said, what I did, son, I began to cancel some debt, because in order for you to come where I am and deal with me, you must have perfect credit. I said, now God, how in the world can we have perfect credit? Can I preach this thing like I feel it in here? So God said, I reached all the way down. He said, I reached down and I looked at your debt of sin. And God said the status. So then I said, now God, you looking at my debt of sin. We got a sinful debt. But then as I began to realize that all my sin was placed on the back of Jesus, he began to show me my credit report. And my credit report said my debt of sin, it said the status was paid in full. Can I get a witness in the house? He said some of us got a debt of guilt, and Jesus said the status of your debt of guilt is paid in full. I don't know about you, but I feel my spiritual credit report rising in the house. So the guilt had to come off me, and it had to come off me because the status said paid in full. The debt of immoral thoughts, Jesus said, I know that you got immoral thoughts. He said, but the status of your debt says paid in full. I feel like preaching in here now. Can I preach this thing like I feel it here? And then the debt of a messy past. God said the status of your messy path, your messy past is paid in full. He said, quit beating yourself up about what you've done on yesterday. Quit beating yourself up about what somebody did to you 10 years ago, because God said, I paid your debt in full. So no longer worry about it. No longer have issues with it. Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, my debt is paid in full. My debt has been paid in full. So I found myself, and I went to get online, and I went to freespiritualcreditport.com, and I began to pull up my credit, and I began to watch some things fall off of it. And then, as I began to watch things fall off of it, I began to see my spiritual numbers rise. It went from a 300 to a 400. It went from a 400 to a 500. It went from a 500 to a 600. I said, my God, I ain't never seen a credit report so high. But then it began to go to a 700. I said, my gosh, with a credit card, with a credit report like this, that's mansion that is laid up for me in the sky, I can definitely put a down payment on it. I wish I had a witness in here, because I got a good special, I got a good spiritual report. Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, Say, I got a good report, and whose report shall you believe? Man said my report was low, but I believe the reports of the Lord. And because I got the reports of the Lord, I know I'm going to come out of my situation because I've got the report of the Lord. I know I'm going to come on through this mess. So now you got to understand. I said, God, is it going to stop at a 700? And then I begin to watch it, and it began to go 701, 702, 725. Is there a such thing as an 800 credit score? Somebody tell me. Is that the highest that it can be? Is it 800? So then it begins to go to an 800, and I said, I know I'm gonna make it in now. But then I begin to watch it, and it began to rise above 800. I said, God, what kind of report is this? God said your debt has been wiped clean because of the blood of the Lamb. And when you got the blood of the Lamb, your debt goes over 800. Your debt goes far behind. Your credit score goes up. Touch somebody and say, neighbor, my credit score is over 800 because my sins have been wiped clean. So I'm here to tell somebody this morning that your debt has been wiped away because of the blood of the Lamb. So don't beat yourself up. Take it one day at a time. Take it day by day and look to the future. And don't forget, but you got to remember that the debt that you had has been taken by God, and all the debt that was going to send you to hell, God said, I've consumed it. So don't give up on God, because God said, I've overtaken it. Don't give up on God. Hey, I heard the Spirit of the Lord say, it said, live now, my child, because it has been paid in full. The Bible says, I wish I had somebody that would get excited in here. The Bible says, but he was wounded for my transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities, and the chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes I am healed. I want to say thank you, because no matter what the situation is, I'm no longer in debt because God paid it all. Touch your neighbor for the last time and say, neighbor, say, paid in full. Somebody give God a praise in the house. Oh. Hey. Look at somebody who really go get excited and say, paid in full. Look at somebody else and say, paid in full. Look at somebody and say, my peace, I can get my peace now.